List of things we did today. That.
We built fire.
That. Before you even get started, there's an argument I usually have with myself in my head. Do you call yourself an influencer or a content creator?
Content creator.
Yeah. What do you think is the difference according to you?
Well, actually, I don't feel like there's that much of a difference. The only difference, I mean, I'm still both because you're still influencing people.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. But the actual core of what I do is literally creating content. Like you're shooting, you're editing. Like there's a lot of work that's actually put behind what it is that you do.
Yeah.
Somebody who just simply takes a selfie and posts it can also still be considered an influencer, but they're not so much a content creator.
That's what I normally say. Like everyone can be an
influencer.
Because how many times do you see your friend posting, oh, I went to this place and it looks cute.
And I took a selfie. Went. Yeah. Exactly. And you're like, you influenced me to go, but not everyone's a content creator. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so before we can get into the questions, I think we can start by you reading your letter.
What, to myself?
Yes.
Sawa.
My dear, sweet, young Joy, this is you, older you to be specific. I am currently 33 years old. As you read this in your very young and ripe age of 21, this is around the time that you will start a hobby that will accidentally turn into a career. Just before your 22nd birthday, you will start a fashion blog. A hobby where you mainly post photos of your fashion journey, weekly and daily lookbooks sharing your personal style and sharing with your very small following how to shop on a budget, Wikikomba, Toy Market, Ngara, and so much more. You will enjoy every aspect of this, but I feel like you need to know a few things as you grow in the industry. 1. As you start this journey, being a fashion blogger, what you do will be looked down upon by many in the traditional media industry. 2. Your family, friends, and general people around you will not understand what you are doing and how it will benefit you in your life long term. 3. As the industry grows and your following grows, you will second guess yourself a lot. You will get your first taste of hate from people you don't know and have never met, and it will affect you. And that's okay. You are human. 4. As your blogging/content creation work slowly begins to be looked at as a great avenue for advertisers, you will go for years before getting your first legitimate work, as your peers get job after job after job, and this will break you many times. You will cry yourself to sleep many nights. You will be extremely hard on yourself. You will compare yourself to others, and when this happens, you will lose yourself a little bit. 5. Multiple legitimate companies and agencies will take advantage of you. They will steal your ideas, your money, and you'll be asked to work for free in hopes, in their words, having a paying job in the future, which will never happen, by the way, specifically with 3 huge brands. You will have many moments where you are working hard, shooting, editing, posting content every single day, and you will have 500 shillings under your name. And this will happen many, many times, no matter how hard you work. But with all these hard times, the one thing I can tell you is you will learn from it all. This will teach you patience. This will teach you discipline. This will help you grow, and you will be successful. You will eventually turn this hobby into a full-time job that you live on. Now, I want to tell you what I have learned in these 10 years that could make this process so much easier for you. Number 1, do not give up, which I'm happy to tell you, you never did. 2, learn to do everything yourself, photography, editing, video shooting, management, everything, which you eventually did. 3, teach yourself about passive income, and it will help you in the beginning. You kind of learned that later in life, but better late than never. 4, when you start making money, save, save, save. The club is not going anywhere. And while you save your money, have a solid financial plan. You eventually figure this out later in life, but I kind of wish that you figured it out a lot earlier. 5, there will be one brand that will hit you up. The pay is not going to be that good, and you will consider not taking it, but do it. This one job will completely change your life. 6, stick to your authentic self. There will be people who you look up to who will tell you to change yourself and to fake your brand to be more luxury, but don't do it. 7, Don't be scared to shave your head. It will be the best thing that ever happened to you in your career. Oh, and just as a heads up, random men will message you and tell you that they hate the shaved look and that you look disgusting and that you look like a man. But forget them. They are stupid because you can kill a bald look. 8, start wearing sunscreen. I know you can't afford it in your 20s because you is broke, but get some. Even borrow money from your mom if you got it. Sunscreen is everything. 9. Just as a side note, learn to love every single inch of your body. You are gorgeous. I can tell you this, as the 30-something version of you, you will look back at images of yourself that you hated and you will see yourself with much kinder eyes. Your stretch marks are not disgusting. Your cellulite, girl, please, not a big deal. And your big old Kenyan forehead is stunning. More canvas to apply makeup on. No need to wear makeup every single time you leave the house. You're beautiful with or without makeup. And 10. Genuine side note, this has absolutely nothing to do with your career, but super important. At the age of 27, you will get a birth control called the IUD. Do not do it. You will have a very painful 10 months because your body will reject it. And your gynecologist at that time, who is a man, just saying, will not listen to you for 10 months. Also switch your gynecologist. He sucked. He was the worst. You will eventually get a new gynecologist who will tell you what actually happened and you will take it out. Just thought you should know that.
Okay, so you start the letter with my sweet joy.
Yes.
And it's so endearing. I don't think we've had anyone else who has started their letter like that. And it also sounds like, my God, 21-year-old Joy was really going through it. It's
Vibes.
like, come here.
It was so
Come
hard.
here,
Like I was just like, babe,
sweet
you
Joy.
imagine you'll make it.
It'll
I
get
swear.
better. Exactly. That's how it felt when I was reading my sweet joy. It's like, come.
Yeah.
Okay, so now for blogging. For the Gen Zs who have come in when, no one writes anything anymore. What is blogging?
So, years ago, let me tell you a story. 12 years ago, Instagram did not exist. So it was mainly Facebook, but outside of that, a lot of people used to do a lot of blogging. So I started a blog where you just post photos. It was basically a website. So you just post photos every single day or every other day, and you just talk about your story, whatever it is. So some people would do fashion. I did mainly fashion, how to shop, things like that. Other people would do travel blogs where they show their photos and you tell a story. So you had to write. Yeah.
So I remember the first time when I interacted with a blog. I was in high school. That is class of 2013 to 2013.
So old.
Yeah, it was 2013, and I remember someone came to class and was like, "Oh my God, there's this new girl. She's posting stuff on her blog. Let me show you guys." And that was the first time
The introduction to blogs.
Yeah, that was the first. And since then, I would now look for other people doing blogs, and it was so interesting. So for you, what made you make that into a hobby?
I just was following other bloggers internationally, and I just loved the fashion aspect of just showing just your lookbooks, your daily lookbooks. But I was mainly focusing on the aspect of, because I was broke, okay, I got no money. So at that time I just moved back to Kenya, so I didn't have any money, so I used to have to shop in Gikomba, Toy Market, things like that, shopping on a budget, and basically just showing guys how I'm able to do that, get amazing looks for 20 bob, 30 bob, 100 bob. That's how it just started, just to share, because why not?
Okay, so what made you feel at that time that traditional media were not really respecting the blogging scene?
It was just small things. When we first started blogging, a lot of us would be invited to events. And of course, at the time, we were never being paid. It was 100% free. But then as soon as you speak to somebody who would work in a newspaper and you tell them what they what you do, oh, I'm a blogger. And immediately they're like, oh, political, da-da-da. No.
So it would be gossip.
Not necessarily gossip, just the traditional media. So guys who work for the newspapers would be at the same thing. So when they ask you questions, they just be like, oh, so you do politics in your blog? Because we did have political bloggers, so that's what they were expecting. But then you're just no, fashion. I post my outfit, and then I tell guys my outfit, and then immediately they just like, oh. Yeah.
So basically, it's the same reaction we get now when you say you're a content creator.
Or influencer, they're like, oh. Yeah.
Okay, do you think they respect it now?
I don't know. I've never asked them. I don't care.
No, I think they do.
I think they do, but also if they don't, I also don't care. I'm fine.
Yeah. And let me take you back to when you got your first hate comment online. Was it on the blog or it's after you had moved into video?
It was, no, not video. It was when we moved into social media.
Social media,
Because then more eyes could see it. Because also blogs, people would go out of their way to find you. So there was no, like, if they didn't like you, there's no reason for them to, first of all, get the internet, go all the way to your website and then leave a hate comment. Majority of the time it was social media.
Social media.
Yeah, so I just remember, those are the days when we used to put up quotes and somebody just said like the mean, I can't remember what it was, but I remember just being like, it's not even about what you think it's about. Like, I'm talking about something else. And it was just so mean. And it was just unnecessary.
How did it make you feel at the time?
Oh, horrible. I mean, of course, when you're young, your feelings are like an egg. You know, you're this close to cracking every single time if somebody says something mean. And I feel like a lot of people don't usually tend to understand, like, there's a huge difference between constructive criticism and just being mean just to be mean. Because I like constructive criticism. Like, if you give me something constructive, I'm just like, thank you. Let me grow. Let me build with that. But then some people would just be like, you look fat. Okay, what was the point? Do you feel better? Type of thing.
I think these days also a lot of people hide meanness behind constructive criticism.
Or honesty.
Yeah, or my opinion. And it's truly very unnecessary.
And people forget that they're human beings actually attached to that. Yeah.
And also, you wouldn't say these things to someone in person because you know it's mean.
Yeah.
So why are you so comfortable typing it? I mean, it's a bit ridiculous. I can remember though when I got my first hate comment, it was on YouTube, and for me at that time, because there was always you've not made it until you know you have your first hater, so I was waiting for my first hate comment. So when I saw it, I was like, we're doing something now.
Who said that you've not made it until you have a hater? I don't want that. Imagine I'm okay.
At that time, I was like, yes. After that,
piss somebody off.
After that, I was like, listen, it's enough.
Yes, relax.
It's enough. It's enough. It's enough. Like, it doesn't feel as yes anymore. It's like, ouch.
It's very personal.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned that your family and friends at the time didn't really understand what you're doing. Do you think they understand it now?
No, 100%. But also, at that time, I had a larger group of friends. So most of my friends now are all in the creative field. So everybody is very, like, all in the same WhatsApp group. With my family, my mom has always been very supportive of it. The only thing that she literally only said was, I don't mind you doing this, but as soon as your grades start to plummet, you're done. That's my only rule. But the issue is that she just didn't understand it. And then when, like, trying to explain it to friends, she's just like, I don't know. She just, she records pictures of herself.
Yeah.
And what's she going to do with it? I don't know. She just records pictures of herself. That's all she does. I don't know. But I mean, it was just more of they just didn't understand what it was. Because also, before Instagram, like, it just didn't make sense.
Yeah. The funniest thing happened to me, like, literally just the other day. I was babysitting my godchild, and she was like, oh my God, you have so many lipsticks. Do you buy all of them? And I was like, no, my job sometimes sends me. And I didn't realize it, but she probably went home and she kept on thinking about it, because a couple of hours later, the mom calls me and is like, Milan wants to talk to you. She has a question. I'm like, okay. Like, Auntie Maxine, what's your job?
Oh, because she's like, does she work in a makeup company?
And I was like, even me myself, I don't know how to start explaining to a 5-year-old what my job is. And
I've learned the easiest thing is always tell them, have you ever been on Instagram? Yeah. Do you know Kylie Jenner? Yeah. Like that.
Like that.
Then they're like, oh, always get that. Yeah.
I just told her, well, I make videos, and then big companies use those videos to sell their things.
Girl, a 5-year-old is not going to understand that. Just say, you know Kylie Jenner?
Yeah.
And I like that.
She was just like, oh, okay, Auntie, bye.
You should have told her Kylie Jenner.
So now transitioning from the blogging to taking videos, how was the switch like?
It wasn't easy. I mean, also, it took me a very long time to even start getting into the video aspect. I think I fought it for so long because I was so used to, like, you know, take a photo and you're done kind of thing. It took me a while to get to that level of being comfortable to do YouTube. And also, YouTube is long format content. It's anywhere between like 20 to 30 minutes to 45. Like, that's a level of content that, like, if you're so used to doing short form, it takes a while for your brain to be able to understand how to even do it. The beginning part was very, very hard. I feel like for me, I kind of, when we started moving to back to short form, especially with social media and things like that, and Reels and TikToks, and like that became a lot easier for me because we can just finish a quick thing in less than 15 seconds, and we're just like, done, you're welcome, type of thing. Yeah, but it was very hard for me in the beginning.
How did you learn? Did you do everything for yourself, from the filming, editing?
Yeah, you just learn, you just figure it out.
Yeah.
And you just move. I started off with a really tiny old camera that my sister had in college that she broke. I mean, it still worked. You just couldn't see the screen. So I just would guess that I'm in the shot and like make sure that, like, I don't know, we hope it worked. The quality was horrible. And just over time, I slowly started to save up money, started getting equipment, YouTubing, how to edit, how to shoot good quality, all those things. But yeah, I just figured it out.
It just constantly improved from there.
Exactly. And the only way to improve is just you mess up and you just grow from it. Yeah.
So at what point did you realize, hold up, people are actually making money out of this?
Oh, when everybody else was making money but me. That's when I realized. Forever. I was just like, I remember the first one was, I mean, like in Kenya, I mean, we could see it outside. Guys were making money, of course, when they do brand sponsorships and things like that. But in Kenya, I think when I first saw the potential was Nancy Moy at the time. We all like, it was me, Nancy Moy, Sharon, she had This Is Us, and Sylvia Njoki. So we all started around the same time. So I think it was when Nancy got a job or something where she got to travel to like Germany for something fashiony. Then I was just like, wait, hold up.
I do fashion. What about me?
First of all, we can go places. Let's start there. Then I started seeing Sharon doing brand partnerships and sponsorships, and I think she was like the face of Samsung. Then I was just like,
oh, I remember that.
Y'all just pay me once. I swear, I just want to be paid once. So that's when I started seeing that there's potential in it, but then I just didn't understand why I was not getting the same opportunity. So I couldn't figure out what my issue was, like what I was doing wrong.
So now when you look back at it, that you're now, seasoned, what do you think you are doing wrong? Or is it just one of those things where it was not yet your time?
One, I don't feel like it was my time. And I'm actually glad, I mean, of course, hindsight is 2020. But now I realize, first of all, I was not ready at all. I didn't even know what a rate card was. I literally sent a card with my rate on it.
Just one rate.
Babe.
Like, this is what
This is what you get. I was just like, it's a card with a rate. I don't know. There was that aspect. I didn't really know. I was not approaching any brands. And then, like, of course, now I'm just like, if people don't know you exist, how do you expect to get jobs? So after a while, I started realizing, like, in order for me to start getting jobs, I need to go out of my way and look for these clients, pitch to them, send out proposals, learn what a rate card is and do it right and things like that. So that was like my biggest thing. I just wasn't putting myself out there to the people to know, like the people who need to know me, to know that I exist.
So in your letter, you mentioned crying yourself to sleep at night. And for me, that sounds painful, like not even emotionally. It really cannot. So let me take you back to that time. What was going on?
Everything. I mean, of course, like just personal things. You're also going through your quarter life crisis. It's like, what am I doing with my life? But also, I think my biggest issue at that time was just knowing how much work I was putting in. At that time, I was blogging 3 to 4 times a week, shooting every single day. Of course, you also have to do Instagram, Facebook, videos. Like I was working 7 days a week and not making anything.
Seeing the results.
And having to also explain it to like to your family, being like, I swear it's gonna turn to something. Just give me a little bit more time. Let me keep trying. Just seeing basically you working for years and not seeing any fruits of any labor coming to you. It was very disheartening. So.
What was one day where you really just felt defeated and you were like, if there's a day I'm going to quit, it's today?
Oh, it was when a brand basically took money from me, in the sense they hired me for a gig. Again, I was doing things for free, so they offered me $5,000, so I was just like, it's money, so I did it for $0. What's 5,000? So I did it. The requirements, like they were asking for a lot of deliverables, but then of course they kept on promising, like this is just next time, I swear we'll give you better budgets, So I was like, cool. Then they hit me up again a month later and they're like, we want to do it again, but we still have the same rate. And I was just like, no, I can't do it. Like
honestly,
I know myself enough to where I'm just like, I know that I'm being taken advantage of, so I'll bow out. So we went to an event and they happened to be there. and we met the boss, the people who hired that agency. So they're just like, yo, we really liked what you did. Why didn't you want to work with us this month? And I was just like, you guys were paying me like nothing, next to nothing, and asking me for a lot. And they're like, I'm sorry, what? Why are you acting like our money was like so nothing? And I was just like, you guys were paying me 5,000. And they're like, I'm sorry, what do you mean 5,000?
Oh no.
And I was like, yeah, you guys were paying me 5,000. They're like, no, what we agreed with the agency was 95,000. And then I was like,
oh my God.
And those were days before, like, of course, when we first started off, contracts were not so much a thing. Also, I didn't know any better. So after I found that out, they fired them. The agency also doesn't exist anymore. That's also neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was when I was just like, I hate this industry. Like, I hate it just because of those little details.
Even imagining the struggles that you've gone through.
And I would have made like almost 100K.
Yeah, even maybe you'd have made better content
Vibes.
at that time.
No, I'd have given them the same because it was still really good. No, it was really good. Like I did not give them like half work. I did really good work.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who was supporting you at that time?
What do you mean? Like financially?
Yeah.
I mean, I was working. Like I used to do like little side hustles. So I started getting into production. Then I learned how to do scripting. So I started writing scripts for some movies here and there, some TV shows here and there, to basically so I can at least make some money so I can be able to survive. But the only issue was just, those jobs come in here and there. So it's like you'll get a job here and then you don't get another script writing thing for like a long period of time. Yeah.
So when you have 500 bob between you and poverty and you're still editing, filming, apart from, were you still using the camera from your sister?
No, at that time I was able to do I was able to save up and buy my new camera, like a newer camera.
Yeah.
So I was using now like the 5D.
And editing and everything, what were you using at
my
that
laptop.
time? Just whatever you had that you were using for work and it was working.
Yeah. It was also like, I just saved up. So every single time I'd get like a job. I also used to do like random commercials. So if I did like a Colgate here, but also again, that's like once a year. So you save up, you slowly save up, then you buy a camera, then you save up again, then you buy a laptop. But also for me, I never bought anything new. So all my equipment, like this year was the first time in my entire life I've ever bought a new laptop. Like out of the store.
Like
vibes. I was just like, it's out of a box. And the box had paper.
Did you do an unboxing? Because I would
Oh
have.
no, I unboxed myself in my house. I was just like, oh yeah, you like that, don't you? Yeah.
I love it.
That's a huge hack, by the way. When you're starting off, buy things used. Please don't go broke.
So now this brand comes after a while. They're not offering you that much money, but you take the job and it turns out to be great. What was the brand?
Oh, okay. So High Design.
Yeah.
So they made me the face of for their Kenyan collection. So they came to Kenya, they got inspired, so they created a whole bag collection. They made me the face of that, and that was completely by accident because they sent a bunch of influencers, including myself, bags, and I just had to just take a quick little photo. Like it was very like to the aesthetic, and they loved it. And they're like, oh my god, we didn't know, like, because we've been looking for a face and we want you to be the face of this specific collection. I was like, yay! They paid very little, but then I was just like, okay. I didn't, like, at first I was just like, okay, know your worth, but also, whomst you? You think you're Naomi Campbell, please know yourself. So I was just like, let me just take it and then let's see where it takes me, because it might give me better contacts in the future. My portfolio is gonna look a lot stronger. So I did it to just strengthen my brand. So as soon as I did it, literally, as soon as the collection came out and the photos came out, and then I was in Vogue, I was in Cosmo, I was in Elle, I was in basically all major magazines. Oh no, I wasn't in Vogue, but I was in all the rest. Yeah. For like a year. And literally as soon as the first one came out in the magazine, jobs literally just started coming in. I don't know if it's like a weird mentality of like, oh, if international people want her, she must be somebody. I don't know what that mentality is, but as soon as the first collection came out and the first photos came out, literally jobs just
started streaming in.
Yeah. So and to this day, I always call them every single year. I'm like, again, seriously, you guys have changed my life. I don't know if you know this, but I love you guys. And I buy bags from them still just because I'm like, I'm going to support y'all forever. Yeah.
So essentially, I mean, it wasn't for free, but it was for almost free. Yeah. You're doing the work you are doing versus what you are being paid.
What do you mean? Like blogging? Like
no.
Content creation?
For the face of the High Style?
Oh, High Design.
High Design.
Like it was okay money, but this wasn't good money. But like it changed my life. So to this day, I will never.
Yeah.
I love them.
So for like now, much later on, would you take a job for free?
No.
No?
No. Now?
Under no circumstances?
Now?
Yeah, now.
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 I really post for free. Why am I doing what for free? No. If somebody asks me, like if you just send me a product and I genuinely like it, I'll share it.
You'll share it.
That's not work to me. That's just what I do. I just share information. Even when I buy stuff, I'll still share the information. There's no need for me to hoard information. But if somebody comes to me and being like, yo, I'm gonna send you some lipstick and I expect these many posts, I need this video. I'm like, babes, you get what you get when you get it. If I decide to give it to you. But I would, because that's work. If I have to put in the actual work to fill in certain deliverables, you're gonna pay me for those deliverables.
Yeah. And let's talk a bit about brands and agencies. I feel like a lot of the times people shy away from the topic, you know, just so that you can protect yourself.
Why do people shy away from the topic?
Because you don't want to get blacklisted.
Oh no, I would never take negatively like about like I would never say an agency and then say the name. Never. No.
Yeah, that's usually the fear.
Yeah.
What's a time when a brand stole your idea? Like you put out a proposal and they were like, you know what, we like it.
Babe, it turned into an ad. Babes, I don't want to say the brand because I know people have worked with them and I don't want to, you know, but and also I know a lot of people usually like, no, you need to like put them on blast, blah, 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 blah. But then this industry is very much people talk. And if one person blacklists you, everybody blacklists you. So that's why we always have to protect ourselves. But so this brand, they basically were like, hey, we'd like to do a couple of Instagram posts. Do you have any ideas? Send them over in a proposal. I sent them. They declined and they just said, it's okay, we've just decided to go in a different direction. And I was like, cool, respect. A month later, I saw my proposal on TV and I was just like, wow. I'll tell you the brand after. Wow.
I also have a similar-ish experience where I was like, you know what you can do? This meal that you have right here, it would look way better if it was like this and that. And of course, it's always, no budget for whatever you're asking for.
But we'll think about you next time.
Yeah, and a week later, my idea was on the menu and I was like,
this industry is rough.
I was like, wait.
Hola. Yeah.
And now, still as we're on those lines, what is the longest time you've ever had to wait for a check?
Oh, okay. So here's the thing that a lot of people just don't seem to. First of all, a lot of people don't read their contracts.
Yeah.
Read your contracts because most contracts actually tell you get paid 30 to 45 days after job is done.
No, not even with the 30 and like your
like after
the time
that.
Now you're
because some people will complain where they're like I finished a job on Monday, where's my check not in my thing on Tuesday? And I'm like, they said 30 to 45 babes. It's next month.
I talk about literally having to beg for your money. You've already done the work, your KPIs are straight, your deliverables are straight.
7 months.
7 months?
But I understood why.
Okay,
so one of my biggest things that I feel like a lot of people usually tend to not do, especially in this industry, is befriend everybody that you work with. Befriend the agencies that you work with, befriend the clients, because you can always speak to them and ask them what is going on. And they will always, like, if they feel like they're comfortable with you, they will tell you like the genuine, like, oh, it's actually this and this and this and this. We can even show you, I swear, we want to, but we can't. Because also a lot of the, like, okay, so for mine, the reason why it took 7 months is because they had an issue with one agency, because one agency was doing some shenanigans and stealing money, so matter what.
Yeah.
Then they decided to move to a different agency. So every single time you move from one agency to another, the paperwork of transferring everything is, and I know people will argue like that's not my problem.
Yeah.
Write me my money. But then the issue is if the company that hired that agency, the hired agency number one, doesn't, like, they paid them, but then that money never came to me. They have to figure out where that money went first, which is, it's such a long process when it comes to like figuring out where all the money has been going, then moving to a different agency, It's a process. So they were actually keeping me in track every single, like the entire process. So that's why it took so long. But usually the biggest thing that I can tell anybody who's getting into content creation, the money going in, and like it sometimes it can take long, so always be smart with your money.
Yeah.
So even if the money takes, like for even that one, I was never stressed out because in my head I knew they were gonna pay me, so I just called that savings. Because I had like I already had a financial plan and I already had savings already started, so I wasn't struggling.
Yeah.
But now the issue is I understand when you when you first start off, and like now
you need that money
is now taking 2 months. I understand that struggle.
Well, I have had to wait like an entire year. And
oh yeah, that happens.
The lady who was supposed to pay me. Now, you see, even for me, I don't have an issue waiting, especially if you explain to me what's happening, you just communicate. But she was like, oh, it's not even that much money. And I'm like, if it's not that much money, then run me.
Then you give me from your bank account, then they'll pay you back. No, you can't say that. No.
So I was like, have you ever had to take any legal action?
No.
No.
Yeah.
And right now, how do you protect?
They're scared of Twitter. Like most companies are very scared of Twitter. Yeah.
And how do you protect yourself now, especially from brands stealing your ideas?
Most of my brands now, I rarely work with one-offs nowadays. I work on long-term contracts. So they never ask for proposals anymore. They're literally just like, these are the deliverables, we need these many videos, blah, 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 do you. So I never actually have to send out. Yeah, so that's my biggest thing. As soon as they hire me, I'm just telling you, like right now we're doing creative freedom. I will send you for approval once the video is done, but I'm not giving you my ideas until after the fact.
All right, that's awesome. Yeah. So now going through your letter and even our conversation now, everything was very much based on work. Your work being like the content creation. There was not really much on friends, you know, your family, relationship. And I think this is the first letter that has been like that. So is there a reason why, you know, your friends, family, maybe relationship and love life did not feature at this? Did 21-year-old Joy just not have issues with?
Like most of that, I've had literally the exact same friends that I've had since I was 20.
Yeah.
We've never had beef. I've never lost a friend. We're the exact same group of people for over like 13 years. Family, we're a very small family, so it's just me, my mom, and my sister. We can't beef because who are we gonna talk to?
You only have each other.
We only have each other. Relationship-wise, I mean, it happens, but then also I just never usually publicly talk about my relationship stuff. Yeah. Like, I mean, God, we've had to struggle. Streets are hard. But, I just don't talk about it publicly. So, that's for when you're friends, a cocktail, sunset.
Maybe next time we'll have a cocktail and we might get a story or
Babes, you will never. You will have to catch me so off guard and like put a mic underneath the seat where I don't even know that they're here. That's the only way. Yeah.
Okay, we respect that. So who is the authentic Joy?
See this.
That behind camera, off screen, but that's true because we've hung out like we went
the same.
for a whole trip and Joy who you see on camera.
It's the same because I feel like it's really because like in the letter I'd mentioned how I was being asked to change my brand and to change what I'm showing out there, but then at the end of the day it's really hard to keep up with such a lifestyle because the specific, like for that part of the letter, there was somebody who literally told me that like, you're talking about Gikomba and things like that, it's really washing out your brand. And I'm just like, but I shop there. And also they're gonna see me in a matatu. Why are we trying to pretend like I'm something that I am not? Because I cannot keep up with that lifestyle. So they're like, no, but if you buy if you get a jacket and it says Burberry, it just says Burberry. And I'm like, I said it. But from Gikomba.
But Gikomba.
It was 30 bob. Like, what am I going to... Because you can't keep that up for a long period of time,
Yeah. And actually, now that you've brought it up, where someone was saying you should present your brand as luxury, to you right now, would you describe your brand as luxury?
No.
No?
I can't.
So...
Because I can't. I just like can't know myself. If I cannot... Because also, even if you present yourself as a luxury brand, that means you're also willing... Do you know how hard it is to sell something that you are not ever willing to buy yourself?
Okay, let me rephrase this, because the same argument you're bringing out, I had it when I was having this conversation with Wambairi yesterday. And do you think it's not luxury? Because we're now just used to it. But if you think about it, the trips and the life that you're living is not.
Oh my God!
It's not what the common person is doing every
I
single
have changed. Actually, I didn't even think about that.
day. Is that what you're doing?
Like
every
in my head, I'm
single
just like,
day?
I mean, yeah, going to Lamu is such a normal, like, let's just go hang out in like a villa.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But there's someone looking
Oh, my
at
luxury?
the candy and is like, I mean, especially thinking that luxury does not only mean designer. You get it? Because I feel like when
like we're just having therapy right now. Like you just like.
Because when you mention luxury, you think, oh, someone who's
I'm
always
usually thinking like
private jets.
Yes, or like serum,
class.
like a night serum that's like 30K. To me, that's
and a Louis
luxury.
bag and
Yeah.
Gucci, but luxury
and I'm like over
means
there buying my
different
bags at
things.
Shein, you know, Fashion Nova. But then I'm
Yeah.
also in a villa. Oh no.
Exactly.
Okay, never mind.
Anyways, how does it feel now to have?
I'm real like I'm so stuck on
Yeah?
that. I'm real life luxury. Like it's a different. I don't know. Okay, I don't know.
It's like food for thought.
Bibs, I don't know now. Oh God, my entire life. Oh, my branding is now. Oh, I'm done. Okay.
How does it feel to have young girls looking up to you?
Do I?
You don't?
I don't know. Like my entire, like even if you go through my insights, it's literally like we're
It's
27
all
to like
the
45.
women?
Babe, it's
Really?
women who are paying taxes. Those are the ones who are all following me. Like I have a very small following of anybody who's younger than 25.
And you never get like young girls coming. They're like, oh, like
Nah,
you encourage
like
me,
what's
especially
young?
with body positivity
But what's
stuff.
young though?
Maybe like younger than you are.
Babe, everyone is
Okay,
younger
not
than I
like
am.
25. Let's say from like 20 to 24.
No, rarely.
Yeah.
Rarely.
Interesting.
It's usually like 25-year-olds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually quite interesting. And now even speaking about the whole body positivity thing, how did you see yourself and your body while you were in your 20s?
Oh my gosh. Like, do you know when you just like think back and you're just like, girl, you were I swear, if I woke up and I had the body that I had when I was 22 and I thought I looked disgusting, I'm just like, girl, you should have enjoyed those days.
Yeah, and I've seen those pictures. Actually, you should send us some so that we can roll them on the screen because you were not
I was hot. I was so hot. I was like, what happened? Okay, no, what happened? Like, I still think I look hot. And it wasn't even necessarily like I thought I was fat. It was just body dysmorphia. Like my body to me just did not look good. Because also I feel like a lot of people usually use that term of like, I thought I was fat, like being fat is not attractive.
Yeah.
My thing was never, I thought I was overweight or anything. Like I just didn't like my body.
how it looked.
Yeah, because I'm heavier now and I still think I look hot. It's just at that time, like the stretch marks used to bother me. If you get like a small little dimple on your bum, you're just like, oh, I'm disgusting. And I'm just like, he's very right, bibs. It's just
It's okay.
Yeah. I don't know, it's just, when you're younger, you just have body dysmorphia. You just are never comfortable in your skin. And you just have to learn how to get to that level. And it has to also happen naturally. And it just happens with age. And it's not even necessarily looking back at yourself and being like, oh, you were so hot. It's just, my body ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
I have it for a long time, hopefully. So might as well just enjoy the ride.
And at what point did that start to change?
Like from the time I was like 28.
28.
Yeah, that's when I started being more comfortable in my skin. Because even before that, I would wear bikinis, but I would Photoshop. You would never catch me in a bikini in a video because that you could not
can't
Photoshop. Yeah, now I'm just like, you guys, hey, bikini body. Yeah.
And what triggered it? What made you realize?
Life is short, babes.
Yeah.
That's it. Like I literally just woke up one morning and I'm just like, I'm tired. Love myself. Get you a string bikini. Enjoy. Who cares? Bodies be bodies sometimes. They be bodying. So yeah.
And do you think it had anything to do with, you know how when you were younger, how everything was always photoshopped and everything? Then the older you got, more and more
you understood that like nobody actually looks like what they look like. I think it's actually part of that.
And you start seeing more and more people who look like what you look like naturally.
Yeah, just normal.
Yeah.
I feel like actually the biggest person who was, what's her name? Simmons, Angela Simmons. I remember I used to watch her doing her bikini stuff and I used to be like, oh my gosh, she's so hot.
Yeah.
And my friends would be like, you literally have the exact same body. And I'm just like, no, but how's it? Like, you know, and they're like literally same.
It's the same thing.
And I realize even now, like we have the exact same body type. But when I look at her, I'm just like, God, yes. And I look at myself, I'm just like, disgusting. Yeah, so it's just like, as soon as I started seeing myself in people and actually realizing that I look like that, I started realizing, oh, if you think they're beautiful, why don't you view yourself like that? Yeah.
What triggered you to shave your head?
Oh, I wanted to shave my head for a very long time, but then I just did not have the balls to do it. And then I had the Cassie Rihanna half shave head. And then I got bored. So one day I was just like, okay,
shave the rest of it.
I can't grow out half the head, so let's just start from scratch. But also my biggest thing was, especially in the beginning, people kept on confusing me with other people.
So nobody didn't have like a signature.
Yeah, so I looked so much like other influencers that nobody ever knew who I was. So I was just like, okay, let's just give ourselves a brand new look. So when I shaved my head, I did the black hair for about like 2 weeks, and I was like, let's go bleach. And as soon as I went bleach, I was just like, there it is. Now people actually were like, oh, Joy, the bald chick with the blonde hair.
Yeah. Did it affect your brand in any way, either positively or negatively?
It affected my brand in the sense that I had a less following of men, but that has never bothered me. Like, I love having a high, like my following is like 70% females, 30% men.
Me too.
And I love having my girls because I'm also talking to them.
Yeah.
And usually, even when you speak to like brands themselves, they usually like to work with people who have a high following of women because women buy stuff.
They buy.
Like, we'll talk about, I got these sneakers from blah, blah, blah. Bye.
Someone has gone to look for them.
But men will be like, I bought the sneakers, nice. Hey, but your bum looks nice. And you're just like,
it was about the sneakers.
It was about the sneakers, my guy. Yeah, so, yeah.
And also, speaking of men, you shave your head, and a man with audacity,
with all of his audacity,
brings himself to your DM and is like, you know what, you should not have done that.
Bibs, he left his whole audacity in the house, and he's like, let me go out of my way. And he just told me I was disgusting and I look like a man.
For shaving your head.
For shaving my own head.
And again, that goes back to what I was saying. What's the point? You know, like what was his... The hair is gone. So should you go and pick up the hair and stick it back
and also,
in?
Am I your wife? Am I your girlfriend? Have we ever met? How does me living my life affect you? Why? Because it'll affect your timeline. Imagine unfollow.
And so, what do you think? Because there's also the notion that you've put yourself out there, and so because you've done this to yourself, now I have a right to comment about it.
Girl.
Like we're essentially doing this to ourselves by putting us. Do you agree with that?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, I get the aspect of yes. I'm putting myself out, so people should be able to have their opinions. But also I feel like people just need to have that understanding of your opinions are cool, but also how is telling somebody something negative useful both to you and them? Like, what's the point? But yes, I mean, I get it, but it's also stupid. Because also I've never gone out of my way to tell somebody that they look bad. But I don't know, people say always like, but it's because you're in the industry, you understand how it feels like. And I'm like, no, it's just because I'm a human.
So now as we wind up, biggest lesson between 21 and 33?
Biggest lesson between 21 and 33, have a financial plan.
Have a financial plan?
Have a financial plan.
Do you think you've figured it out now? Yeah.
I mean, I could be better. I mean, I wish I figured it out a lot sooner.
Yeah.
Obviously. But have a financial plan. So know if you are saving, what is your plan? Whatever it is, whether it's buying a car, buying an apartment, you want to invest, learn about all the different options for investments outside of just real estate. Because everybody's aspect is always go to real estate. But then talk to your banks, figure out which bonds are best, where, like, how can you put your money in a place where that money makes you money.
How you ended your letter, it literally felt like the portal was closing, like the portal to the past, and you have 1 second.
Like, wait, one more thing, real quick.
Don't get the IUD, don't do it, abort. What happened?
See, I decided to get a birth control. I was like, use the IUD. It's fantastic. You can get the non-hormonal one because I've done the pills before. My body just reacts badly to it. So I was like, yeah, great. They apparently put it in wrong. And they put it in slightly wrong, but also my body was rejecting it. And every single time I would tell my gyna at the time, and he was a male. And again, I'm not saying all male gynecologists suck, but this one sucked enough to where I'm never seeing another male gynecologist ever again. But anyways, I told him every single time, like, this does not feel right. And he just kept on saying, it's normal. It's normal. Like, it's almost that thing where people think that, like, when girls say that we have cramps, they're just like,
Let me tell you.
It's not that bad, but you just like, I have literally vomited from pain, from a cramp. What?
What do you mean?
Also, guys have said that it's the same thing as a heart attack. It's the same pain level as a heart attack.
I've had a doctor, again, a male doctor, went to his office, literally dying, and he looks at me and he's like, are you sure it's that bad? Because, you know, this is a normal process. And I was like, oh my God.
These men are ruining it for other male gynecologists. But yeah, he basically told me that you're being ridiculous. This is supposed to happen. And I was just like, I know it's supposed to be slightly uncomfortable for the first year, but I'm having, every single day, I'm having the most painful cramp for at least 1 minute where I can barely move every single day. So I finally went to a female gynecologist. She looked and she was just like, first of all, your body is literally trying to shove it outside of itself. Like it's trying to push it out, number one. Number two, it's placed in wrong. Number three, of course you're in pain. Like, it's like, what? And she even asked me immediately when I first walked in, she's like, on a scale from 1 to 10, how bad are these cramps? Because that will tell me if it's normal or bad. And I was just like, easily for 1 minute every single day, it's like a good 9. And she's like, what? That's not normal. Yeah. And then she took it out and she was just like, Atia, man told you what? And I was just like, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so ladies, if you're sure it's not right, just get a second opinion. Yeah. Okay, so we normally do a time capsule sort of thing, whereby on this episode you wrote a letter to your younger self. So now I need you to look at that camera right there and give a message to 45-year-old Joy.
Okay.
And I will hit you up hopefully in 10 years and I'm like, I have a message for you.
Hey Joy, it's 33-year-old Joy. I hope you're still sunscreening. I really hope that you're still using, good skincare products. Keep that, you know what I'm saying? I hope you've reached your goals when it comes to your financial plans. You know what they are. I hope I don't like talk about them in public. But I hope you've figured that part out and I hope that you stuck to it and you've reached those specific goals because they're pretty big, but I think that we got this. Also, I think there's a truck. Is there a truck on your side?
Okay, Joy, so thank you so much for coming to the show.
Thank you.
And braving the cold.
It's actually not that bad.
It.
I feel like you're being so dramatic. But thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming and hopefully I will deliver your message in 10 years.
Girl, I'm so ready. Actually, that'll be so much fun if I'm actually able to see when I'm 43, 45. Ah, that'd be lit.
Awesome. Okay, so bye.
Bye.